we are on to second part that all of you have got screened in, and you are required to fill up a PIQ form, and we have managed to photocopy 10 odd PIQ sheets. Some of you may have got it, but PIQ sheets are asked, essentially these are information about you, personal information questionnaire. Okay, this is a standard sheet. Some of you have already got a copy, otherwise even if you not, we will ensure that everybody gets a copy. It is available on net also. PIQ form is filled up in 2 copies by the candidates. 1 copy goes to interviewing officer, second copy goes to psychologist. Good. Now PIQ essentially has your name, your place of residence, your mother tongue, place of permanent residence, maximum residence, present residence, your roll number, OIR rating the staff will put on top, then your family particulars, father, mother, brother, sister, their education, their income, then you have your educational qualification, marks in class 10th, 12th, graduation, outstanding achievement if any. On the next sheet you will have height, weight, anything else, personal dimension, then you have NCC training if any, which wing, any achievement if any, sports, games, outstanding achievements if any, hobbies, spare time interest, extracurricular activity, previous attempts at SSB. So this is broadly what is asked in a PIQ form. Although it is a simple form, but there are still a lot of people make a lot of mistakes in the way they fill up their form. Sometimes people fill up casually, carelessly, write it, change it, make mistakes in people's parents' income, their education, do not tick mark whether it is younger brother or elder sister, then do not write their percentage correctly, round of 59.4 to 60%, write first division, do not know what is games, what is sports, what is hobbies, what is spare time interest, what is a co-curricular activity, what is extracurricular activity. Somebody will write hobbies, hockey, extracurricular, hockey, sports, hockey. So these are, so essentially it is a simple form where you can impress an interviewing officer before you go, but you can disappoint him before you land up. So this is a form which must be filled with great degree of care. Are you all with me? Yes. Now some of you have got this PIQ form. I have not got 150 or 200 copies, but these form people can photocopy or see it on net also, and it will benefit you. You can practice filling it up. How many of you got a PIQ form? Raise your hand. Okay, so these candidates have PIQ form. Please ensure that more copies are circulated to others also. Okay, please put your hands down. So what is the difference between hobbies and spare time interest? Anybody?
A hobby is something which you make time for, and a spare time interest is something you do when you have free time.
Okay. Spare time interest is when you have free time, and hobby is something you have to make time for. Okay, okay, good.
So the interesting one which you make time for, and a hobby is one in which you well in your free time and you do anything.
Okay. So essentially most of you are aware of it. I tried to explain once to a set of candidates, and essentially he said that all of us can have large number of spare time interests. We can be interested in large number of activities, but hobby is something which we actively pursue. That is one distinction I thought I'll help people with, and this is based on my interaction here and there. I thought this is a useful advice. So you can be interested in a lot of things. You can be interested in web designing, meeting new people, traveling. You can be interested in movies, reading books. Yes, reading books can be an interest. Watching documentaries can be interest. What else can be an interest? Anybody just said what else? Aero modeling can be an interest. Am I right? Designing aero models. Web designing can be an interest. Learning to play musical instrument can be an interest. What else can be an interest? Listening to music can be an interest. Good. Shoe politics. Geopolitics. Geopolitics can be an interest. Can be. Yeah, reading about geopolitics. Geopolitics can be an interest. Yes, that's a good interest, high level of interest. Good. SSB, I think you will have more chance if you give such good words. Good geopolitics. In any case, you have to remember, I think he has reminded me of a basic advice which I must give you. You must write interests which are relevant to the job. If you write interests which are not relevant, like it's a geopolitics is a good interest, especially it will impress an interviewing officer that here is a cadet who is joining military is already interested in geopolitics. But if you write cooking as an interest, walking my dog is an interest, meeting my neighbors, playing with neighbors, those are not interests which will give you brownie points in a military setup. So I'm giving just a generic advice that whichever job you are going for, you should try and write interests and hobbies which are mostly relevant to that, or at least in case of interest. Hobby is something which you have. Hobby can be, what all can be hobbies? What are some examples? Reading, watching movies can be a hobby. Listening to music can be a, will it be a hobby or will it be an interest? That is where you have to decide. Hobby is something which you actively, if you keep listening to music 8 hours a day, is it a hobby? So I'm not sure, I'll still put it in interest, I think. But playing piano can be a hobby. Anybody, what is the view this side? Drawing can be a hobby. Drawing can be a hobby, painting can be a hobby. Writing a poetry can be a, will it be a hobby? Hobby, poetry writing. I'm not sure, so you have to be careful in how you present yourself. See, this is your PIQ, your personality. Depend on, so you have to be careful with what information. Like once a PIQ form came to me, somebody written he plays volleyball, football, basketball, handball, everything. I said, when did you last play football? So when I was in class 6. So then this is not a game that you can write in a PIQ if you are going for a graduate entry. Class 6 you have played football, then this is not a game you are playing. You must write what you are playing now. If you are playing basketball or volleyball, write down that. Skip the football part. If you would have loved football, you would have again continued playing. So those are the distinctions you have to make in writing. If you fill up 4 games and have actually played only 1, some people write running also. So be careful with hobbies, spare time interests, extracurricular activity, co-curricular, sports, family particulars, marks, educational institutions. So this is what I thought I will caution you. Previous SSB attempts is also something, an entry which is required in the PIQ form. Last column, number of attempts, what had happened, where you screened out, where you conference out. So if you don't fill it up accurately, then interviewing officer may lose patience, because candidates are going sometimes for 14 attempts also at SSB, 3 attempts, 4 attempts. I have had 9 attempts of SSB, 5 after 12th, 9th after graduation, because there are multiple entries. Air Force has got so many SSB, Navy has got so many SSBs, Army has so many SSBs, and there was a candidate who had got screened in one SSB, he didn't get recommended, next day again he came in Coimbatore, now he got screened out. So essentially now his father went on YouTube saying that his son has got screened out and this is not the way, because he was screened in the previous SSB. So while as a candidate it is a good observation, or as a family, but it is possible if the previous batch had say 200 candidates, and or sometimes very few candidates come on some batches, sometimes large number of candidates come, some candidates are of different level, sometimes you may get screened in, sometimes you get screened out also, depending on how you performed in a group. Intelligence tests also change, PPDT changes, sometimes your perception may be good, sometimes you may not be able to perceive, sometimes you may not be able to gel in a group, sometimes you may not be able to communicate itself. So that is why SSB continue to maintain that SSB selection is based on your displayed performance. An entire assessment is subjective. It is not 2 plus 2 is 4. It is integration of personality. So have you understood PIQ in some degree? Are there any questions in PIQ? Once you, on the day 1, once you finish filling up PIQ form, either before this or after this, there is a briefing by duty officer who will brief you on do's and don'ts in the board, where all you should go, what all you should not do, what all you can do, when should you sleep, deposit all your mobiles, deposit this, deposit that. So there are rules and regulations in the board. You have to listen to the rules and follow them. I've had cases, at least when I was president, that some candidates have deposited one mobile but kept another mobile with them. So those are rules, better to follow them. If it gets, and one of the candidate only will come and complain, because everybody is competing, everybody wants to get recommended. So sometimes your friends only will come and complain, sir, this candidate is talking on mobile, where is my mobile? Now you already have an input from somebody, in your batchmates only with whom you are chit-chatting. So I would urge you all to pay attention to rules and regulations. Sleep early. Don't waste time chit-chatting in the night. Yesterday a candidate asked me in Tiruchengood, sir, I believe we are all under surveillance when we are in SSB. Now in Coimbatore, whenever candidates came, 150 from various parts of the world, the police was on alert because one new batch is coming, 200 youth is coming. I hope one of them is not antisocial. I hope one of them is not going to create trouble in Coimbatore. Same worry everybody has in even SSBs also. I hope somebody is not come to record some test or create some trouble. So there is a general surveillance everybody keeps in their premises. So you have to be careful that you don't break rules and regulations and follow as many rules as possible. So pay attention to briefing, spend time in the night sleeping, get up early every day, freshen up yourself, so focus on tests. That's what I'm trying to say. Are you all with me? Yes, so with that we come to day 2 of testing, and day 2 starts with psychology test. Now psychology test is a test of your psychology. What is there inside you, in your mind? Well, superficially you will wish me good morning sir, but inside if you curse me, then it keeps getting into your subconscious. And psychologist tries to get a peek into your subconscious depending on how you have been thinking throughout. In any case, one aspect I forgot to mention, that the way you have looked at OLQs, none of you can develop it overnight. OLQs are in some measure are already there in you depending on your upbringing, your family life, your friend circle, your participation in school and college, activities which you have participated, not participated, level of interest you have taken. You can only present yourself in a little better manner with these capsules, but these capsules cannot alter your personality overnight. Do you agree with this? If some of you have taken interest in activity throughout, you will have certain measure of OLQ. If some of you have not been so much interested, then may not be there. And in any case, all of us have different level of capability also. Our capacities, abilities are all different. So now in psychology test, essentially it starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. You have breakfast, then you come for test. Psychology tests are conducted in a small auditorium where you have about only 40 to 60 candidates who have got screened in. The first test is TAT. What is the full form of TAT? Thematic Apperception test. It means again it is a test of appreciation as well as perception. The pictures are all hazy. There is you don't see they're all pictures are hazy, where certain amount of appreciation is required and perception is required. So if you see good things everywhere, you can see something good in it. If you are used to see negatives throughout, then you will see something negative in the pictures also. So you are shown a picture for 30 seconds, then you have to write a story for 4 minutes. So one picture comes, you see a picture, think for 30 seconds, write a story for 4 minutes. How should you write the story? We had a long discussion in the session 1. It should be interesting, it should be practical. What else? It should be day-to-day present events, more aspects of positive, less of negatives. Those are the aspects we discussed. It should have a past, present and a future. Somebody else again had answered from there. So those are the aspects you have to remember in writing a story. Introduction, main body and a conclusion. One picture, 30 seconds, 4-minute story. Second picture, same drill. This drill goes on for 11 pictures. And finally you have a blank slide. When you see a blank slide and write a story. Now essentially what the theory is, that in the picture you see, you all project yourself. And depending on what is there in your mind, those get projected and are brought out in the stories which you write. And that is how psychologist gets a peek into your mind, whether in your subconscious, whether you have those OLQs or not. So as far as possible, good, interesting, practical, whatever we discussed, 8-line story must come out in each of the picture that you see. That will take you through thematic apperception test. When it comes to a blank slide, again you write down whatever comes to your mind. Like I remember one interesting story, and I had only all the male candidates in Coimbatore and Visakhapatnam. So somebody's written that this is a story of a girl, Rita, and he's talked about a girl in his story. So maybe there's in his subconscious, why is he seeing a girl? So that was a little different story from what I have normally seen or heard. So sometimes in subconscious we have, you must be aware of conscious and subconscious. See, there's an element of subconscious which is driving us, which is guiding us, which is we have a beautiful machine inside which is running beautifully. Immune system, respiratory system, digestive system, we are not interfering even. So similarly, the way we think normally, our subconscious builds up. If every time we respect a figure of authority and think it that way, then whenever you see a figure of authority, respect will automatically come in. Sometimes when we think differently, we superficially wish and curse inside. Then our subconscious reflects lack of respect for authority in our psychology test. Have I explained? Have you understood? Have you understood? So this is what psychology test sees through the pictures, and then after you finish TAT, you move to something called WAT. What is WAT for? Word association test. You are shown a word for 15 seconds. During that time, you have to write a sentence. And these words change every 15 seconds. There are total of 60 words, and this test happens in a total of 15 minutes. Every word 15 seconds. Word changes 15 seconds. So you have to be quick. SOD will get checked if you answer all. Then your psych also gets checked. Depends on how are you associating with various words. These words are day-to-day common use words. Teacher is a word. Somebody may write, I respect teachers. Somebody may write, I hate teachers. Both of them are right in their own way. It depends on how teachers have impacted his life. Father, mother, teacher, sex, kill, love, hate. Words are all normal. Depends on how you respond to these words, how you associate with them. Table. Now psychologist will read your PIQ before reading your dossier. Like one example I gave is, suppose there is a table. Now somebody may write, table is near the bathroom. Now if the PIQ says that his father is a poor man, so then the response is possible. Now, but somebody is his father is a Commodore, and he says table is near the bathroom. So this is not a good response. He can say, I study on the table, I eat on dining table. Is again a good response. So response is matched by your PIQ form. And then one makes assessment how you have used your life, opportunity provided, and have you gained something out of it. So word association I have explained. Some people write all 60, some people miss out something. But these negative words if you miss, then psychologist penalizes you. Like hate is a negative word. Now you have to give a response. Kill is a negative word. You have to give a response. We shouldn't hate each other. Is a good response. If you write I hate her, again it means there are some adjustment issues. If you write this, or you say I hate my mother, it means you are giving some shade of adjustment issues, which is possible. So this is all about word association test. Then we come to something called SRT. SRT is situation reaction test. You are given 60 situations printed in a dossier, and dossier is where you are writing response of TAT, response of WAT, now response of SRT. It's a booklet. 60 situations, you have to give a response. You're traveling in a mall, you're in a mall, a fire breaks out. You're going by bus, you lose your mobile. You're traveling in a bus, somebody troubles a girl. So those kind of responses, 60 situations are given. And then you have to give a response. Whatever response comes to your mind. But selectable response will be where you take some positive action to save property, life, and contribute. And the last one is SDT, self-description test. What do your parents think of you? What do your teachers think of you? what do your friends think of you, and what do you think of yourself. Half a sheet on everyone. Technically, psychologist has an idea after going through your TAT, WAT and SRT. So if your SDT also comes out in sync with your OLQ, then it goes in your favor. Like otherwise it is appearing that you are a sincere student from the 3 tests. In SDT also, if you write, people think you are sincere, then you have good self-awareness. But if you write some exaggerated opinion in SDT, which is not in sync with your responses in the previous 3 tests, then it can go against you. Did you understand, Prashad? What did I explain in SDT? Batao. SDT part. Just now I explained something.
So we have to write as a description in relation to the previous test as well. So if you are writing something against a previous test, it will go against
Okay, understood. No, you are correct, but you have to write what is correct, like you have to write correct perception. If you see, teachers give you response in the 8-10 years of your school and college, teachers would have given you response. You read their report cards. Teachers have told you need to improve here, you are a sincere student, you are this, you are that. So those are realistic response. Even parents will tell you, how many times have I told you to make your bed? Every time you're doing this. Again you are coming late in the night. How are you wasting time with your friends? When will you grow up? Your friends will give you a response. These aspects of personality you would have already indicated to the psychologist in the 3 tests, TAT, WAT and SRT. So if you write SDT in an exaggerated opinion, it can go further against you, that you have poor self-awareness and you have poor awareness of the environment around you. That's what I meant. So Prashad was somewhere correct. Aksha Prashad. Ankita, sorry, I keep getting the first part wrong. Ankita Prashad. She was in VSC, so she did excellent drill. So I told RDC, give her a chance in RDC, so she went for RDC also. So that's why I know her name little better. So, she is VSC and RDC returned. So hope SSB will be happy with her. Are you going for SSB? Which one?
Sir, CDS, sir, OT.
OT, Army? Okay. CDSE, good. So this is what SDT is all about, and based on your TAT, WAT, SRT and SDT, you would submit it and that becomes a dossier. And that dossier will go to a psychologist in the board who will spend about 2 hours to assess your personality and assess you through the prism of same 15 OLQs. So this is all about, I had to tell you about psychology tests. So how many of, are there any questions? Have you understood, not understood? Nobody is how many of you have understood? Okay, good, good. Any questions? Yes.
I have 3 questions to ask you in your question. So starting from that, I have a question. Can we write down real life stories, like real life incidents which we have faced? Like after presenting some pictures, we'll be remembering some real life incidents. Can we note it down and we can write it down?
There's a question or a statement? Okay. No, essentially you have to see, like, it all depends on our past, how we have gone through life. So when you see, like, suppose you see a river and a bridge and a boy standing on top. Now it depends on what thought comes into your mind. So if you know past life, suppose in your growing up stage, you were disappointed and you wanted to jump someday from the top and finish your life. Maybe that is the story you will end up writing. This is a story of Nancy, who was her mother used to hate her and her mother did not like her. One day she went on the bridge and she thought she'll finish her life. Then somebody saved her. So maybe that is a story which will come to your mind. Somebody else may write about a story, that this is a story of Ram, who was always worried about what is happening in his village, and he used to always go there on the bridge and he used to stand and say, this is the way we can improve and we can get some cruise terminal here and we can improve the waterways. So it all depends on what story comes into your mind. So now between the 2 story, the second story is a better story on the face of it, but somewhere it has to relate to your somewhere it has to relate to you. It means from your own thinking. What I am trying to say that coaching institutions sometimes may give you some practice of coaching. Now some coaching story you will try and fit into a picture. So it may not be something which is related to the picture, but you are trying to fit in a story. We call this called fitting a story. You have prepared some stories in a coaching center or in this capsule. I have given 2-3 stories. Now whichever picture you see, you try to fit that story or this story. Then psychologists will be confused about your personality. But if you write what comes into your mind, then you will realistically present your psych. That's what I'm trying to say. So your question and my answer are parallel track, I think. I'm not answering your question. You got it, okay, good, very intelligent. Next question.
This is about that. Can we write scientific facts in the concept of English comes to us?
Yes, like any example?
For example, if I see a word attack, Apache 64 or the attack helicopters we are importing from USA.
Good, that's a high level response. You are saying attack and you write Apache, we are importing. That is a super response. That is like geopolitics. There is a high level response. Yes, whatever comes to your mind. How do you attack means we are getting attack helicopters from USA is a high level response. That you have read about attack helicopters, they are coming from USA and you are reading about all this. You are impressing, super impressing. So good idea, good response. Or any other question like this?
The last question, sir. It is about SRTs. What is the decent amount of SRTs you think like we have to attempt?
See, if you attempt, essentially you should attempt all 60. But sometimes people have passed in 45 also, people have failed in 60 also. Depends on how your personality emerges from those response. So little slow is okay, nobody is going to penalize, but optimal responses. So people have passed at 42. If you are going in sequence and have reached 42, it means somebody says your speed is slow, but your decisions are all correct. So somebody may give you a little low on, but otherwise they'll say, okay, her responses are good, she has RA, she can organize herself, she has got power of expression, her SOD is little low, but at least she has got a good factor 1, factor 2. So that's what they assess. But if you write all 60 and all, we should destroy all our attack helicopters, we should destroy the neighbors also, and if you have such responses, then the 60 will not. So it depends on, it all depends on how psychologists integrates your personality based on your entire dossier. So anything less or more does not make so much of a difference. Okay, good, keen. A lot of people are keen on this SSB capsule. Good, she is also keen. Yes.
Whether in SRT our perception will affect the marks.
Whether in SRT our perception will affect the
Marks.
No, your perception is what he or she is trying to read.
The perception is wrong according to the question. Whether it will affect the marks.
No, see, first of all, that marks part you have to not worry. You have to see that your question is, if there is a situation, your perception is what you will answer. Like suppose there is a fire in mall, or suppose, give me an example of a question. Like she gave a
Fire accident in a hospital.
Hospital, okay, good.
And
Now your answer, suppose say, you will say, I will save my mother who is on a hospital bed. That's a good response. But, and I'll...
but if I answer, I would save myself, then it will be, whether they will take it in a wrong way and...
No, it all, see, that is where military is all about, we are trying to, military is again service. Essentially, we have to look after people around. We throw ourselves in danger so that people are safe. So running away from a fire in a hospital may go against us. Because in real life also you will go away. But military goes away leaving their papa and mama behind. Father is dying, one accident at sea. Where will you go? You have to go for the accident. If you go for your father, then you can't go for military. So that is where if there's a fire in hospital and you say you will save yourself, then you will go back home. It's a good question. But like you see air station, one air commodore, he is commanding the air station, goes in an aircraft. He meets a crash. Now other pilots will be scared, but the drill is everybody has to fly now. One captain, Commodore Murugesan was commanding in Ranjit. Now his father was in Chennai. This is Chennai? We are in Chennai only, na? So his father was in Chennai, last stage. Ship had to go to Maputo, or he was already in Mozambique. So somebody said, do you want to come back? He said, no, I will not come back. Because ship is there, I am commanding officer of the ship. How can I leave it? Line of duty. Even same, one Abhilash Tomi, have you heard of Abhilash Tomi? One commander, he was going around the world. He had an accident. His spine was broken. Now one ship was being commanded by Captain Anand, I think. Now his father was in Bihar, about to die. He was commanding a ship, his ship had to sail out. Where will the captain go? Of course with the ship. He is saying, as it is, Papa is dying, what will I do by going there? In any case, so that is how military is, that's why military is able to deliver. If everybody starts running away to say, Papa, Mama, neighbor, then who will save the country? So military is all about service. So if responses like this are there, then you have chances of selection. Okay, good question. No, these are questions you have to, it is better to clarify. And then it is better to make up your mind whether should you like to join military or not. Because that is where 5 days of testing people are sure before they take you. I didn't see my mother was cremated before I reached wherever I was posted, and so was my father. But that is a military service all about. Okay, good. Some questions. Oh, so many. Good. Let me go there.
Sir, what should be a good response to any negative situation?
Example.
Sir, any negative situation.
No. Example. Like she gave an example. You have. What is in your mind?
Sir, what would be a good response to a question if asked that there are 3 men kidnapping a woman and we are witnessing it in broad daylight? What would we do?
What should you do? If you don't save the women, then military will not take you. I can assure you. In real life also, we have to protect. Wars, the first thing is you have to protect our women and children. That is why we have more strengths. So in real life also, military more so. So if your response is otherwise, then military will not take you. It's a good question. See, you are asking an honest question. Because these are real life situations. I must tell you a story. I sometimes go for, like I had gone to Park Hotel in Delhi, and Park Hotel is famous for parties. So I had gone for a drink down below. I had finished my work. So there, I think one man was drinking. Then he did over drinking. So finally he had a fight with somebody. So when he had a fight and it was about to get ugly, the women, the wife of the man came. He is saying, if anybody touches this man, I'll kill you. So then the wife protected the husband, and then finally husband was taken off. So nowadays we have those kind of women that, they are standing up. किसी ने मेरे husband को छुआ तो मैं छोड़ूंगी नहीं तुमको. Hindi, do you understand Hindi? So that is okay, understood. So did I answer the question? Okay, good. Please sit down. So these are military is all about serving. It's a defense. It's a service. Service before self. Come, good. 2-3 questions for here. Yes.
Sir, in the SDT test, we are supposed to tell about the perspective that the world has about us. Parents, the future, and so on. Like maybe our parents might have a positive perspective and also some negativity in us. Is it right for us to write the negativity also along with the positive one?
100%.
Like will it degrade the marks? Like will they feel like, okay, this negativity might be a minus point for us?
No, correct. See, if you write negatively, you are offering information on a platter. That's what you are doubting. That's what you click. But if you write negativity, it also indicates your high level of self-awareness. See, none of us are perfect. I have also gone through this stage. And then I have reached an assessment. I also know I did not qualify one SSB. I was scared of Tajan sleep. I know what I have gone through school, college. So none of us have reached here sitting on, we have gone through life. So none of us are perfect. So, but if you have an idea of a weakness, you are still a more selectable candidate. That's why I'm a little lazy sometimes, I'm temperamental, sometimes I fight, my mother tells me to not do this. It's a good thing.
But also, is SSB more like...
Loudly.
Okay. The thing is SSB only for people who are capable with good English? Like if someone has more knowledge, but they cannot communicate properly in English, will they stand no chance for going for SSB?
No, see, at the end of the day, tests are in English. If you're able to, an interview you can answer in Hindi also or Tamil also if that other guy is a Tamilian. Somebody has to be able to assess your personality. Psychology tests are all in English. So if you write in Tamil, somebody may not be able to read your Tamil. So I'm not saying English is paramount, but if the tests are in English, then there is fait accompli. Okay? Because see, we must remember that we are looking at Indian armed forces. You can be serving in any part of, you are not going to be in Tamil Nadu if you qualify military. Who is that? So once you opt for military, now you'll go to Northeast, you'll go to Kashmir. Now Tamil will not help you there. The fact that you're in NCC, the fact that you're trying for Indian Navy, Indian Armed Forces, Indian Army, of course you have to come out of your language barrier and you have to embrace something which is more universal. I'm not saying it is good to accept English or Hindi, whichever language you are able to communicate. Did I answer you? Are you going to try for military or no? Which one? What do you want to join?
Navy.
Navy? Who is from Navy here?
No, I don't understand.
Who are the naval officers here? Anybody from Navy here? Acha, I'm there, okay. Good, good. Okay, good question. Anybody else? Yes?
So good afternoon, sir. I'm R. Sivasaram from Rajalakshmi Engineering College. My question is in SRT, sir. So as far as I've noticed, there are two kinds of SRT questions, sir. One where they give all the particular details, and the other is they don't give the particular details. For example, I can say there's a boy drowning in lake nearby, and you are there and you don't know swimming. What will you do? And the other question is, you made a girl pregnant. What will you do? So in the first question, they gave the particular details where I don't know swimming, where in my current life I know swimming. So I have to act according to the situation given. But in the second question...
No, let me understand. So first question, there's a boy drowning and you don't know swimming. Yes. So now you have to give a solution according to that.
Yes, sir. In that question, they have given all the particular details, sir. In my current life, I know swimming.
No, forget it. You are saying... Okay.
Second question is, I made a girl pregnant, what will you do? So in my current life I'm not married, so my immediate response was, I'll celebrate with my wife and I'll convey the news to my parents and her parents. But my question is, should we answer it according to our current life, or we can respond to the situation positively, sir?
Okay. Have you gone for an SSB? You're not gone for SSB. So you are saying you had a response. Okay, so on YouTube channel you saw an SRT that there is a situation of a boy drowning and you don't know swimming. So what is your response? That is one question. What is the answer?
Sir, I'll look for the nearby water log and
rope.
Rope.
I'll call for help since I don't know swimming. I'll see how much of depth is there. I'll try and reach out. So that is one response. Now in the second case, the question is, it's a situation that you made a girl pregnant. What will you do?
Yes, basically, I wrote like...
No, not you writing. Let me understand the situation. So situation is you made a girl pregnant. And what will you do? Is that the question?
Yes, sir.
So what is the doubt?
There were no particular details, sir. So I imagine that I'm a married man, so I wrote I'll celebrate with my wife and I'll convey the...
So it's a good answer then. You are a very positive man.
I'm asking whether it is a reasonable response, whereas in my current life I'm just 22 years old. So should I write like I'll inform to my parents and will convey the news, something like that?
I'm confused. Anybody can answer that question? Some of you are facing such crisis in life. Okay. Anybody can answer that question? Yes, madam is very intelligent, I think. Good.
The concept itself says it's a situation reaction test.
Loudly. Everybody should hear.
Okay. The concept itself says that it is a situation reaction test. It's just a situation. It has nothing to do with your current life. You're imagining the situation. So whatever is the positive reply, go for it. It need not take. If you try to connect every situation to your current life, then it might take a negative turn. Like you said, you're 22. You can't connect to it. It is a situation. Take it as a situation. Give a positive reply.
My God, we have to clap for her again. Post-lunch session she is conducting. Now I think she is suitable candidate to conduct the capsule. Good. Very good answer. Okay, good. Any other 2-3 hands were there?
Question in SDT. So you told about
Okay, loudly. Can somebody repeat the question? Whosoever has heard it.
Sir, in SDT, how we can understand better self in better manner, sir? Say a way for.
Okay, let me just run through the STD. SDT says self-description test. What do your parents think of you? Now, parents think of you, they have given you a feedback. Some weakness, some strength. Parents think I'm sincere, I'm committed, I'm hardworking. They advise me sometimes to be more careful with my books, more careful with my assignments. They have asked me to get up in time in the morning. So that is how parents think of me. Parents think that I will grow up and become a defense officer. They are encouraging me to join my military. So parents think of me. So these are the some things that we can mention. These are realistic things, because if you are connected with your parents and you are trying for SSB, you must have told them, you are attending a capsule. So this is what you can talk about your parents. What do your teachers think of you? Teachers think that I am a studious student. Teachers think that I am good in academics. Teachers think that I will do whatever task they assign. They can trust me with responsibility. They think I'm responsible. They think I'm Maxwell. They also advise me to be careful with my grades in mathematics. They advise me to take more interest in this subject. They ask me to take interest in extracurricular activity. So that is how you can talk about teachers. What do your friends think of you? Friends think of me as a good friend, a loyal friend, as a funny. They think I'm funny. They think I mix well, and they always encourage me to participate in more outings, or they ask me to come out more often. They don't like so and so of mine. They don't like my not coming on every occasion. So you can throw in positives in your negatives also. What do you think of yourself? You can talk about yourself. I think that I'm hardworking, I'm sincere, I'm committed, and I'm focused towards my goal of becoming an armed forces officer. And I would like to improve my public speaking skills, and I would like to, improve my extracurricular activity, or like to improve my reading habits. So these are something that you can talk. Are you able to understand? Is your question getting answered? Sure? Okay, good. Anybody else? Yes?
So my question is slightly related to the PPT test.
Slightly related to? Okay.
So in some scenarios we can see some negative sides are more highlighted than the positive side. So how should we tackle those things in a positive side, and is it necessary to always think of being positive in that scenario, or we can show a negative point, negative thing there?
Okay, understood. Let me try and think. Essentially, now you suppose you see a picture of some battle going on, some war happening, somebody is taking out bullets, somebody is shooting somebody. This is a negative scene also. But you can convert it in a positive manner. That this is a story where, your name is? Andaman. Agya Mahajan. So this is a story of Agya Mahajan, who was born in a poor family, and he was born in Virudnagar, and thereafter he joined NCC, and then he joined this, and now he is deployed in LC, and this is here India and Pakistan are having skirmishes, and Agya Mahajan is leading his soldiers into battle, and he is after this, for his bravery, he was awarded Mahavir Chakra. So now you have negative scene of war fighting, you have converted into Agya Mahajan and getting PVC. So this is how you can, other way you can write it. This is again story of Agya Mahajan. He didn't like to join the NCC, but his parents forced him. He became an officer with difficulty. Now he has gone there, and Agya Mahajan and his troops have surrendered to the enemy, and they have lost the battle position. So you depends on what comes to your mind. Essentially, if first one is a little more positive, brings out everything good about you. So while it is a scene is negative, did I give an example which makes sense? Have you understood? Not so much. Okay. Anybody else wants to add? Anybody? Can you repeat your question again?
Sir, actually I'm asking that if the scenario is more negative.
Scenario is more negative. Give an example.
So, like, there is a mob going on.
Mob.
Riots is happening.
Okay.
Like destruction of vehicles or something else. Like in a picture, it is seen that is a vehicle or which is burning.
Vehicle or?
Which is burning.
Burning, okay.
Like we got a picture which is hazy, and also it is slightly understanding that it's burning. So in this part, what please coming in a very negative way in some.
No, I understood. Suppose suppose I was seeing this picture. Now I will go back to my Sani school. I was stuck in Bihar Sharif. Hindu-Muslim riots are common. So maybe my mind will go to Hindu-Muslim riots or Bihar Sharif when I was stuck in the school. Finally, there is a story where some riots have happened. But this is also a story where, there is a story of somebody who despite this has given shelter to some people or has saved somebody from this bad situation. So while this is a communal right story of Bihar Sharif, but this is also a story where Ram rose to the occasion. He has given shelter to some people. He has helped people. So that way we can probably bring out something. Are you able to? Have I convinced you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yes?
I have doubt in situation reactive tests. Like they ask opposite gender question. Senior said, if I made woman pregnant, like that question has to me, what I have to do?
Okay, understood. Wow.
Like another question, sir. If you are the gay, how you tell to your parents? That question has to me, what I have to do?
Okay, understood. So I think SSBs must be trying to keep the gender issue in mind and resolving questions. See, this is a question he has seen on YouTube. I don't know whether, because somebody asked me yesterday, so how has SSB changed over a period of time? So while tests have remained same, the content of test is changing. It may GD topics when I was there, and today GD topics are separate. SRT also is changing. When I was in SSB, there were no mobile phones in our country. But today, one SRT will be, you are going by bus and you lose your mobile. So SRTs, SDT, TAT, these are supposed to change with times. So I don't think a question like that may be in a SSB. And I also remember that sometimes women candidates were being shown a separate set of SRT, or there was something in Coimbatore like that. I have only assessed male candidates. So sometimes there was some discussion happening. What happens if women candidates are coming? How will you have to make changes in SSB? Barracks separate, testing patterns separate. So there are maybe provisions like that you won't get a question like that. Probably. Okay, good question. Okay. Yes.
Sir, does attempts matter in SSB, or is it the minimum threshold which a person needs to follow, or which after every attempt the threshold increases?
Okay, good question. Essentially, attempts don't matter, but multiple attempts also do not present your good personality. The moment I see a PIQ where you are in 14th attempt, when was the last attempt? 2 weeks back. When was the previous attempt? 4 weeks back. What else are you doing? Nothing, sir. Now you are a graduate, doing nothing, 14th SSB attempts, it does not present a good personality. So attempts, while theoretically do not matter, but they also matter that you are wasting your time. If you, after BTech, suppose you are trying for SSB, you take 1 year job for IS, nowadays world is accepting it. But 1 year job for SSB, 1 year break for SSB, you better be working somewhere, because SSB is assessment of personality. There is no preparation required. Either you have it in you or you don't have it in you. So if you are running around coaching, going everywhere, spending 1 year in 14 SSB attempts, it does not present a good personality. That's what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't, technically, nobody holds it against you. But when I get an interviewing officer, I am also disappointed. Why is he wasting so much of time of himself? Why can't he try somewhere else? But people have gotten into 9th attempt also. So there is no change in threshold theoretically. But yes, my pattern of interview will change if I handle a repeater, and so those are some answers I can give. Okay, but SSB believes on assessment based on displayed performance. Okay, good. Any other question? Yes.
So, if we change the completely a negative story into a positive ending, are they going to judge us with that?
No, it depends on how badly you change it. You see, if you can see positive in every situation, it's a good thing. Nobody is going to judge you for one response. They are going to integrate your personality based on all the response. And essentially, they're going to see your 15 OLQs. Now, changing a negative situation to a positive one, where do you get penalized? If you change every situation to a negative one, it may go against you.
So, negative story differs. Like, it is a completely a negative. Like,
Example.
Example, if a man is mentally disturbed and he committed into many false commitments, and then he shifted his character to positive.
No, this is a picture you are showing so many things.
No, if we write a story.
No, based on, no, you have to first show me the picture. What picture have you seen?
Not a picture. If we said to write a story.
No, a story on a picture. So, what picture are you seeing when you are writing this story? It's just a man. Okay, so now you write a story.
So, if we start with the completely negative and complete it with happy ending.
No, this sometimes, first of all, I must tell you that I am not a psychologist. Since I have spent a lot of time in the board, so I have some idea. But my basic expertise is interviewing officer. Now, here I have heard some discussion that trying to see some negative in a situation and then become a hero sometimes does not. Where is the situation that the man is mentally disturbed? Then so this is again not a very, these stories are not.
It can be considered as motivational. Will they appreciate that kind of?
I really can't. I know that some people in stories try and find a situation, then they become a hero. But if you try and fit in a situation which is not existing, it is. It all depends on story to story. I would not like to give a categoric answer. Okay? Okay. Good. Anybody else? Yes?
Good afternoon, sir. My question is clear. You told that if you were shown a picture with the riot going on, the car is burning. What if I went technical with my answer? The car is a really old model, it's not serviced enough. That's why it burned off because of the heat and it's not proper maintenance. What would be my grading on that? If I went all...
No, understood. It is also a good story. It indicates that there is a level of knowledge you have, and if it fits in it goes in your favor. It all depends on whether your personality is getting integrated. If the stories are not in a pattern, like see, if you are a man or a woman, and then you write stories from your mind depending on the picture, then each story will bring out the same personality. But if one story is bringing out some coach personality, this story bringing out another personality, this story bringing out your another personality, then the psychologist is confused. So any story can be good or bad. It is an answer to that question also. No story is bad or good. It depends on whether psychologist is able to make up her mind or his mind, whether you are selectable or not selectable.
So it doesn't mean that if we write a negative story into positive ending, we would be a negative person.
No. If it fits in, it's okay. If it fits in, it's okay. It has to fit in, it has to match with the picture. That's all. It can be any, one picture can be, it's like, somebody stands up here, suppose this cadet stands up. Each of you are asked to write one word, each of you will write different things, depending on how you see yourself. Somebody may see her tall, somebody may see her short, young, thin, talkative. And people write depending on what do they have in mind. Don't look at her like that. So we all see things as we are, not as they are. All of us see situation depending on what our experiences are. Have I answered a question? Okay, good. So we are heading into lunch break now. Okay, good.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is related to SRT and PIQ. To answer PIQ or SRT, to what degree we can add our own resources? To answer the basic.
No, first is PPDT. PPDT is a part of stage 1 or stage 2?
The stage 1 and 2 both.
No, PPDT is a part of stage 1 only. So in PPDT, what is your question?
To make our own story, to what degree we can add our own resources.
No, it all depends on, like, give an example.
So like in the picture we saw that a boy is running out there.
Okay.
So we can extend our to what degree so we can make our own story, sir.
No, you give an example. It can be a boy, story, born. He's done schooling. He's interested to athletics. He's doing some athletics. He goes and wins a medal. So I think this is a normal story. But if you bring in more resources, what resources are you bringing? He's running because dogs is chasing him. What is the resource? Or no, I understood. There are sometimes people see situations which are non-existent, add resources which are not there. So those, I think I'll leave it. I will not answer all the technical questions of psychology. Those are best answered by a psychologist only. I will only leave it to a normal exposure, and that's the best. Okay. Okay, sorry, second question, second part of your question. No, in SRT is a simple thing. Depends on how you want to answer it. Like any example?
So that the boy was drowning in the river, so we can, to what degree we can add our own resources to solve the problem.
I think it is possible. The boy is drowning in the river. He called for external help, and he tried to save him. So, okay, I think I'll leave it here. Whichever questions I can't answer, I will rather not answer. Maybe you will find some other resource too. Okay, please sit down.
There is a situation of kidnapping a woman by two men. Like the candidate wrote the answer as I will save her. Whether, like how officer will know that whether he wrote it genuinely or he wrote it for the job.
No, understood. That is, everybody knows you will write positive response. That is a known fact. If you write, you will run away, then you will. Now people will write, they will save the girl. Whether in real life is far away. As of now, we are only into testing. But somewhere in your subconscious, you will give shades of running away. That's what I'm trying to do. You may answer subconscious consciously that you know that if you save the girl, you will get selected. But your response will not match. Somewhere you will give shades of running away, suicidal thoughts, depressing thoughts, running away from problems. Those shades will come because that's why it is a dossier. Understood? Okay, last question. Okay, so many questions. Good. Okay, no, somebody else was there. Okay, we'll go to this. Yes, ma'am. Hi.
WAT, word associative test.
In?
WAT.
Okay, loudly.
If the question was food, the word was food. Food.
Supper. Okay.
What should our response would be like? We should describe it more deeply or basically?
You give me an example. What response will you make?
Food is, for the example one, food is very delicious, and the second point would be food is the main source of living. It gives us energy also.
So this is the food is a good source of living is a little high level response. Food is delicious is a basic response. No, it depends on what comes into your mind. See, that is where what happens is WAT, even if you practice, you cannot practice all the words. Somewhere you will write true responses. What is the first response which comes into your mind is what you will get recorded. So even if you practice food, that food, we should not waste food. Somebody may write, food is delicious, basic response. We should not waste food is a little high level response. But all these responses individually do not make a difference. What collectively they present your personality is what makes a difference.
If our answer would be simple, would the psychologist would...
So maybe that you are a simple person. If your factor 1 is less, it's like table is near the bathroom, there's nothing wrong with the response. But then based on PIQ, you should have better response. I study on the table, eat on the table, books are on the table. If you get books are on the table, it means you have books in mind, table in mind. But table near the bathroom, toilet kit is on the table. Those are basic response. So those are my answers. So in food also, food is good, food is tasty is again a basic response. But we should not waste food is a little high level response. Okay? I have answered. Okay, good. Now we are into lunch break. Everybody is thinking of food only. So we have to be careful. And psychology session will finish here. We will start with GTO test after lunch. Any last question? Yes. Agya Mahajan, you just asked a question. They will not leave you if you ask too many questions. Okay.
Sir, one thing I want to ask that in the any negative mark in day 2 in any other activities like carried out SRT?
No, there is no negative marks. It is all assessment of a personality. Why should somebody give negative marks for what? Negative marks may be only in intelligence test. Maybe, sometimes, some tests have negative marks. But in PPDT, nowhere there is any negative marks.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing, sir. SRT, sir. From one situation, sir, we can have...
Loudly.
Sir, from one situation, we can have multiple responses, sir. So, what should be the best response should we choose to make us presentable to the viewers?
You have to, if people are able to discover some OLQs in you, then it improves your chances of selection. But basically, since there is time pressure, all of us write what comes into our mind. Although some people are able to change and throw in little good responses, you have to write what is a good response. That is the best answer for selection. But technically, you have to answer what comes into your mind. And you will not have time for multiple response. There is only 30 seconds. If you keep debating on multiple response, what will happen? You will not touch 60. You will debate multiple response, write a best answer, then what will happen? Then we know that you have written only 30. It means your SOD is low. Then you are writing manipulated responses. You are thinking and writing so much, it means you are, okay? Good. Last question. Anybody else? That's it also. Okay. Yes?
Sir, my question is about the WIT, sir. Sir, it is necessary to attend all the 60 questions, sir.
What is your answer?
Sir, I am asking that...
No, I understood. But what do you think is the answer?
Sir, effectively affecting positive questions like 45 to 50.
No, you see, it is necessary is if you answer 60, you will improve your chances of selection. Then only somebody will know in 15 seconds what is the thought coming into your mind. In any case, the word is changing. So, if you miss one or two words in between, does not matter. Suppose some word you are not able to think. But if you miss 15 words in between, miss negative words in between, it can go against you. That you are deliberately not writing something. So, missing 2 words is okay. But if you miss so many, then it means you are not able to think in time or you are not associating well. It means you are a... So, it doesn't go in your favor. Okay? Good. Last. Yes.
Any specific instructions or suggestions for the repeaters?
Are you a repeater? Which repeater? You are... What degree are you pursuing?
I'm in BTech Aerospace first year.
Which college?
Hindustan University.
HITS. Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science. So we have done a capsule before. You were there for the last capsule.
No sir, I'm a first year.
First year, okay. So what repeat? Have you gone for SSB?
Yes sir.
Which one?
1 FSB Dehradun.
1 FSB?
Dehradun.
1 FSB in Dehradun, correct. ND entry you have done. So SSB you didn't make it, not recommended. Okay, confidence out. So what is the question?
I'm asking for any specific instructions or suggestions for repeaters.
No, just don't bother. Don't worry about your past failure. Just go with an open mind. Indicate everywhere that you have missed this SSB. It goes in your favor. That you were interested after 12th, you have not made it, your passion is still there. It goes in your favor. We don't hold it against you. We feel happy if you have tried after 12th, then got carried away, you did not get it into 1 or 2, you are now again coming. It means it indicates a level of interest. So no suggestion, just go with an open mind. Indicate that you are screen out or conference out. They have their own system. Screen out this PPDT group, that group. Just be honest with that. You must be able to answer what went wrong in SSB. If you're not able to answer, then it goes against you. So what do you think went wrong? I don't know, sir, I did everything well. And then that is not a good response. Because lack of self-analysis, you have gone through a test, you have no idea what went wrong, then, how will you... So that part can go wrong. Sir, I think I did well in Psych test, GTO test, I think I was a little nervous. Conference, I was a little nervous. So how have you worked on it? What preparation have you made for this SSB? Sir, I have done this. I asked a question with Commodore Rastogi in the capsule also. 2 questions, okay. Thank you very much. We are end of our part 2 of capsule.